Now, in the old days of communism, relations between China and the Soviet Union were always tinged with mistrust. So it's deeply symbolic that China's new leader, Xi Jinping, has chosen Russia for his first foreign visit since becoming president. He's due to meet President Putin to discuss energy policy. There's a major project to pipe gas from Russia into China. It's also expected they will discuss how best to approach the deepening diplomatic crises in North Korea and still Syria.
There have been a lot of firsts for China's new president since he officially became head of state last week. These moves are carefully choreographed as they form the first impressions of the Xi Jinping era, like selecting Russia as his first overseas visit.
So I think that is tremendous symbolic significance to the fact that Xi Jinping has chosen Russia as the first country to visit after becoming party chief and state president. So there is an element of putting together the forces of China and Russia against possible threat coming from the U.S.
That threat believed by Beijing to be coming through the Obama administration's military focus towards Asia. More attention and more American resources will be directed here.
We've been wondering for quite some time now where Xi Jinping would choose as his first foreign trip. It's always an indication of where he thinks his allies are, and I think it's no surprise that he should choose Russia because, of course, China and Russia are allied together and against the West on many very important issues, not least Syria. The two countries, of course, have voted against UN resolutions and sanctions on Syria on a number of occasions, and of course Iran as well. But I think there's another much more important thing behind this visit, and that's the economy, frankly. Russia is the biggest producer of energy in the world. China is the biggest consumer of energy, being the factory floor of the world, and they're short of it, and therefore they need energy. And add to that the fact that Russia is having difficulty selling its energy to Europe at the moment because of the downturn in Europe. It's looking for a new customer. There is therefore an obvious allegiance between those two countries. It's not his only trip, though. After Moscow, he'll head down to Africa, where he'll go to Tanzania, he'll go to the Congo, and also to South Africa, where he'll go to the meeting of the BRICS nations, the emerging economies, in Durban early next week. Very obvious places, really, for him to go. He's not going to go to America because there are clearly difficulties in the relationship there, although both countries say they want to improve that. Frankly, he's not going to go to Britain. The relationship between China and Britain is not good at the moment. David Cameron had a meeting with the Dalai Lama a couple of years ago, and since that, it's really not gone very well at all. Russia, therefore, is obvious, and China's footprint in Africa is staggering. China is using Africa. Africa is using China. They're both helping each other, so it's no surprise that he's going there. But this Russian trip, I think, is very interesting. There's a suggestion that there's going to be a big deal signed on a gas pipeline between the two countries. It may not happen in the next couple of days, but it's quite clear that the Russia-China relationship is there to counterbalance that pivot that America is making towards Asia.